There's a bunch of other things happening and something, I guess, good to talk about. The Walk for Life in Adelaide on Saturday. First of what will be a whole bunch of pro-life walks or marches in various capital cities through the year ahead. How did things go on Saturday?
Look, it was really good. There was over 2,000 who gathered in Adelaide. They're just around Parliament House. Pennington Gardens, they walked around Parliament House. And so there were a number of MPs there as well. I know that Senator Alex Antic was there. The Honourable Sarah Game was there. Martin Niles spoke as well. But when you look at the crowd, and I wasn't there, but I looked at the pictures, and there's just no doubt that we are witnessing the emergence of an absolute new pro-life generation, because these younger generations, they know the humanity of the unborn, because on Facebook they see the first photo of a baby is in the mum's womb. They see it. I see these pictures. So there's no, it's impossible for this generation to sort of buy the lie that an unborn baby is nothing. It's just a clump of cells. So they know this. So what we're seeing is a really big encouragement, because a young generation is actually rising up, and they are the ones now campaigning on behalf of the unborn. And so that's a wonderful thing. There are a couple of really good initiatives at the moment in both federal parliament, but also then in South Australian Parliament. The Born Alive bill is being sponsored by Alex Antic and Matt Canavan, but there's also a bill in South Australia by Sarah Game, who she wants to see criminals who commit offences against pregnant women and the baby actually dies. She wants to see the baby recognised as well as the violence against the woman. So that's a good bill too. But this Born Alive bill is something that every single one of our listeners can have a say in. There's a petition on our website, the ACL website. But, you know, if you just even Google Born Alive bill and Matt Canavan, you'll find different ways that you can support that bill.
Tell me, Wendy, if you know, because these days, and it's usually an estimate, but the number of babies' lives that are terminated annually in Australia, is there a number that the ACL works with? Because, we sometimes hear different numbers, and whatever number you use, it's usually a horrendously high number. But what's the number that you tend to work with when someone says how many babies are aborted in Australia each year?
So we always work with a conservative number, because we want to be careful not to conflate these numbers. So if you go to any of the pro-choice websites and you look for the statistics, consistently you will see that it's around 100,000. So I think that's a conservative figure. I think it's probably more than that, particularly now that we have an abortion pill that people can take, which is hard to monitor and hard to get statistics from. But we're talking 100,000 babies, 100,000 little Australians being terminated annually in Australia. And certainly, if anybody thinks of 100,000 lives being lost every year, you'd have to say it makes it one of the most important human rights issues of our day.
There's lots more to talk about, and we'll monitor things along through the year, especially on a Monday when we're talking to the Australian Christian Lobby, very interested in how the abortion debate continues in Australia and the growth of a pro-life movement. As you say, we ought to be very excited about that, Wendy Francis, that there is a new emerging generation of young people who are taking up the challenge to fight for unborn children.